slept through the night, I got through to the dawn. I flipped a switch and the light went on. I got out of bed and I put some clothes on. Was a pretty good day so far. I turned the tap, there was cold, there was hot. I put on my coat to go to the shop. I stepped outside and I didn't get shot. It was a pretty good day so far. I didn't hear any sirens or explosions. No mortars coming in from those heavy guns. No UN tanks, I didn't see one. It's a pretty good day so far. No snipers in windows taking a peek. No people panicked running scared through the streets. I didn't see any bodies without arms, legs, or feet. It's a pretty good day. There was plasma bandages and electricity, food, wood, and water. And the air was smoke-free. No camera crews from my TV. It was all such a strange sight to behold. Nobody was frightened, wounded, hungry, or cold. And the children seemed normal, they didn't look old. It's a pretty good day so far. I walked through a park, you would not believe it. There in the park, there were a few trees left. And on some branches, there were a few leaves. I slept through the night, I got through to the dawn. I flipped a switch and the light went on. I wrote down my dream, I made it this song. It was a pretty good day so far.
Hi everyone, Dave again. I'm sure for many of you, just like me, this has been the toughest of weeks. I've prayed a lot about this service. I've worried a lot about this service. I've struggled to find anything useful to say. As I've been putting the service together over the last few days, there's been lots of tears, lots of prayer, quite a bit of anger. We're just overwhelmed by it. There will be no sermon this week because I simply don't have the words. I want you to think of this service as as our lament. It is sad. It is a sad service, and it will be hard in parts to get through. But we owe it to the people of Ukraine, to the people of Russia as well, that we do get through it, that we pray for them. So as I usually tell you at this point, I usually tell you to make yourself comfortable. I don't want this to be a service where we feel comfortable. We shouldn't feel comfortable. So instead, what I'll say is, do whatever it is you need to do to get yourself into that place of prayer. And if that's making a drink, lighting a candle, burning some incense, do that. But if you've come here to be uplifted and to have, half an hour of happy, clappy joy, that's not what we do here. We face life in the raw, as it is. We've all come from places where we've had to do that. And we're not going to shy away from this. We're going to look at it head on. And we're going to pray for all of those people in such desperate straits right now. So, you'll see me later on. Please bear with us. And if it moves you at all, share it. Share this with other people. And I'll see you later.
Welcome to Chelmsford Cathedral. Here we gather again, alone yet together, As individuals, we've learned the true meaning of that phrase, alone together, and to take comfort in the other, that person we haven't even met. This Sunday, we look to the nation of Ukraine, standing alone, a people that we have not met, praying that they share that same experience that says to them that although they stand alone, we seek to be together with them, to stand with them, shoulder to shoulder, far apart, yet close enough to feel their breath, different, yet the same. Each of us that gather here each week have felt the pain of loneliness, of isolation, and we've been lifted up by the love of the other that we have not yet. Lord God, grant the people of Ukraine that same safety, protection, and common understanding that you've given us here in our little community. Whether as strangers, foreigners, or refugees, whether as BAME people, LGBTQ people, disabled people, survivors of all kinds of abuse, we firmly believe that we have been led to this place by the star we have followed. And through the star we followed to Bethlehem, and although the star that we followed to Bethlehem is no longer as clear to many of us right now, we know that where we are is where we are. A safe place. A place where we're loved and accepted by you and by one another. Here is a place where we do not have to justify who or what we are. Here we are loved and accepted without condition. And we are so grateful for that. We are sheltering here in this sacred and safe place, awaiting a sign, a dove of peace. Here we are safe from war, abuse, and discrimination. Oh, we're still anxious. We still don't know what the road ahead is leading and what it will bring. But here we know we are welcome. You created us as social beings, and we yearn for that welcome, for that acceptance. We haven't always found that to be true in the place that some call the real world, but we are committed to the relationships we built without regard for our reputation. For here all are loved, all are accepted. Here there are no frontiers. So we're going to go into Chelmsford Cathedral. The choir are practicing at the moment, and you'll hear them. And you'll see some things, including the sculpture known as the Bond Child. It was sculpted after the Second World War as a response by the sculptor to inhumanity in war. Perhaps that will help us reflect. And we'll end at the altar of God in Chelmsford Cathedral, where we lay all our prayers. So here we are, as safe as we lay our prayers at the altar not made by hands, as we are at the high altar of a great cathedral. Though the nations rage and are in tumult, and though peace in its fullness is not yet a reality, still between us are the bonds of peace which the ordinary office has built, and still with us is the presence of the God of peace. May his blessing be yours. Amen.
If life is a river and your heart is a boat, just like a water baby, born to float. And if life is a wild wind that blows way on high, and your heart is Amelia, dying to fly, heaven knows no frontiers, and I've seen heaven in your eyes. If life is a barroom in which we must wait round the man with his fingers on the ivory gate, we sing until dawn of our fears and our fates, and we stack all the dead men in self-addressed crates. In your eyes, faint as the singing of the lark, that somehow this black night feels warmer for the spark, warmer for the spark, to hold us till the day when fear will lose its grip and heaven has its way. Heaven knows no frontiers, and I've seen heaven in your eyes. If life is a rough bed of brambles and nails, and your spirit's a slave to man's whips and man's chains, where you thirst and you hunger for justice and right, till your heart is a pure flame of man's constant light. In your eyes, faint as the singing of the lark, that somehow this black night feels warmer for the spark, warmer for the spark, to hold us till the day when fear will lose its grip and heaven has its way, and heaven has its way, when all will harmonize and know it's in our hearts, the dream will realize. Heaven knows no frontiers, I've seen heaven
Welcome. Welcome those who have travelled long and hard with us just to be here. Those who have fled the ravages of war. Welcome those who are still unsure they can trust us. Welcome all those longing for peace. Let them know they are safe here. Welcome those who cannot remember what hope feels like. Welcome those who have no vision for the future. Welcome the tired, the exhausted, the worn out and the grieving. Welcome the sacred ones, the frightened ones, the nervous ones, the ones whose trust has been betrayed, the ones who have not known what it feels like to feel safe, the lost and the sad ones, the penniless poor ones, the outcast and shunned ones, the I don't fit in ones, the shut out and locked out ones unable to scale the wall, the ones that churches forgot, the ones that churches would rather not look at, the ones church has abused and mistreated and are now too ashamed to look at, and yet they still wish to decry what we do here. Welcome again to this sacred place, this holy ground, as real to us as any church building, as valid a form of worship as any other. Our home is here on YouTube, on Twitter, and on our website. Online is where we live and have our being. These are places of worship. These are places of welcome. And they are open to all, and we mean all. For those in peril, welcome to this, our home, a safe refuge for as long as you need it. Each of us may have journeyed alone, yet somehow we know we are connected through time and space. Each of us praying that others would experience your renewed hope in this relationship with your Son. Whether or not you have known that hope before, we ask you to bestow it upon us now as we rest in this sheepfold, knowing it is Jesus himself who stands watch at the gate, granting us rest, keeping us safe. We acknowledge that we are made in many different ways and have come from a wide range of cultures, meeting together on this journey, coming together as a diverse collection of your children, Lord, drawing alongside one another to share fellowship with each other, to learn from each other. Grant us peace as we flock together for support, for discernment, for encouragement and strength, and fill us with hope for the future. Though we are in many ways estranged from your church, we thank you, Lord, for these our global siblings who join with us week in, week out. And we thank you for bringing us together again today. We say to everyone who meets here, stay for as little or as long as you like. Be as involved or not as you feel comfortable being. Many of us that gathered here were unable to access physical church even before the pandemic. And here we have been made to feel welcome. Here we have found a home. This is our space. Come on in and join us. We dedicate this space to those who have been forced to flee their homes, to those who have been excluded for loving someone in a way that has been judged wrongly, to those whose personhood has been challenged wrongly, to those who have been made to feel unworthy because of the colour of their skin, the place they come from, or the nature of their disability. Father, take this place and those gathered here and make this a place of hope, a place of encouragement, a place of refuge, a place of peace. Amen. To those who are new here, we say welcome. To those who are familiar faces, we say welcome. To those who are confident of their place here, we say welcome. To those who are unsure if we really include everyone, we say welcome. To those who have been hurt by bad theology and harmful pastoral practices, we say welcome. To those who never thought they would find an inclusive faith environment, we say welcome. To those who join us at a later date and time, you are welcome. And above all, infant Jesus, we welcome you into our presence. We have prepared this virtual space for your birth. This is your temple, Lord. Although there are no walls, the web is where we gather, as real to us as any church. Computers, phones and tablets are our prayer books. Our prayers float in the ether like incense across the sanctuary. Fellowship comes in many ways, and ours is found here online. Welcome.
Let's take a few moments to consider the times when we have not acted as we would have liked this week. For the times when we have not welcomed the stranger, the foreigner, the refugee, we say, God forgive us. For the times when we have shown a lack of acceptance of the other, we say, God forgive us. For the times we have consciously chosen not to hope, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we have not offered our love to others freely as you offer it to us, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we have deliberately set out to stifle hope in others, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we have turned away from your message of peace and chosen the path of division, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we have been impatient, demanding attention now, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we have not understood the needs of others or ourselves, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we have turned away from your gaze, unable to face you as you know us through and through, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we have let one bad example of church leadership colour our view of all church leadership, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we've not been able to keep our manners or our tempers, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we've not been able to share or receive, we say, God, forgive us. For the times when we have not recognised or challenged our inherent prejudices, we say, God, forgive us. And for the times when we have not invited you into the centre of our lives, we say, God, forgive us. In asking your forgiveness, gracious God, help us to be transformed that we might live as people of your kingdom, following your way and trusting your wise counsel. Amen.
Nu Deus Molova.
Walk among them.
Loop met hen,
I'll go with you.
ik ben erbij.
Reach out to them.
Kijk uit naar hen
with your hands.
met mijn handen.
Suffer with me,
Prie avec moi,
and together
et ensemble,
we will serve them.
nous le servions.
Help us stand.
Seigneur debout,
Kyrie eleison. Christe eleison. Kyrie eleison.
Forgive us, Father, hear our prayer. We will walk with you anywhere. Through the suffering,
Troisios
with forgiveness,
Amazaitrice,
take your life
Daute Fawis,
into the world.
and view hier Piet.
Kyrie eleison. Christe eleison. Kyrie eleison.
Though we're far apart, let us feel a closeness in our fear, just as those who huddled in that upper room felt. Let us reach out across the ether to be instruments of peace for one another. Unite us across time and space. Teach us to share the journey with one another, just as those who travel out of Egypt. Teach us to lean on our fellow pilgrims when we find times tough. Teach us to be alone, yet together. Though we are socially distant and in isolation, let us feel your touch this Lent, the warmth of your love enfolding all of us. Amen.
Sunflower, yellow as the morning sun. All the anger in the world cannot destroy the things to come. Sunflower, swaying as the wind bells chime, like the hope that prevails. So the beauty in my mind. Da, 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 and fall into the sand. There's no monuments we built this tall and as graceful as you stand. So many lives have gone, but everyone needs something new. Grace can touch us all. Let us see the world anew. Sunflower. Carry me in your arms, and we feel what they have done. I couldn't ask for any more. You are the key that opens up the door. You're the key that opens up the door and sets us free. Sets us free.
Dear British friends, my name is Tanya Thurman. I'm a representative of the Ukrainian Charitable Foundation in the western part of Ukraine. As you know, our country is living in the war conditions. The eastern and southern parts of Ukraine are under military actions. It is common knowledge that peace is better than war. Unfortunately, the reality is awful. Thousands of refugees trying to leave the country and many wounded soldiers are in our hospitals. Please pray for enough supplies of food, water, and medicine. Some of our disabled people are not able to leave the country and provide themselves with the most essential things. Elderly people who live in the small towns are very often isolated They need extra psychological support. Some people are in despair and even panic. Please pray for the inner peace and hope for the better times.
Go in peace, go in kindness, go in love, go in faith. Leave the day behind us, the day is done. Go in grace. Let us go into the dark, not afraid, not alone. Let us hope by some good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Let us hope by some good pleasure safely to arrive at home.
May God the Father, who from the beginning of creation has loved the world, grant to you a great love for the whole of his family. May Jesus Christ, who on the day of his resurrection greeted his followers with the gift of peace, grant you peace for yourself and those who matter to you most today. And may God the Holy Spirit grant you grace to be a peacemaker wherever you find yourself this week. And may the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be with those and those who are on your heart today and forevermore. Amen.
Give my love to Iraq and to America. I give my love